Facebook, friends, and family and community, and whoever all of you are. Happy Thursday. It feels like my Monday. We just got back from vacation and it was amazing. We went to New York for several days, New York City, and believe it or not, Darren had never been, and he loved it a lot. So, whew, more on that later. Anyway, great vacation. Everyone needs a vacation, and we were in need, so it was really good. Today is chapter 24. This means that including this episode, there are 6 left. So before we get into it, I want to just, it's not an announcement per se, but I want to make like a kind of a little declaration, all right? I vowed to myself that by the end of September, so September 30th, I would have this entire project finished with all of the episodes. I'm freaking determined to make that happen. So, as crazy as this sounds, buckle in and get ready. I will be doing one video every other day starting today. So starting today, there's 6 more, only 6 episodes. I will be done by September 30th, and I need all of y'all to rally around me and get me to that finish line. So, which is pretty good. I think that putting out 30 videos between June and September, it was pretty audacious, but I'm doing it and I'm committed to it. It's all written, it's all here. It just needs to come out. So you're going to see a lot of Darren videos in the next few days. So, all right. I'm not going to stop talking and keep talking. Today's chapter, this is an interesting one. So buckle in for that as well. Chapter 24, the title is The New Gay. And it goes something like this. So you've probably heard it mentioned before, most likely in kind of a joking way, that gay people really wish that straight people had to come out just like them. Now, this is kind of an interesting topic. And really, we kind of only talk about it in a joking way, really. But it really is super interesting if you stop to think about it. And here's why. For me, personally, there's kind of 2 parts to coming out. And there are, I'm talking about the LGBTQIA plus whatever community we're talking about. I'm going to address that in a moment. But so just coming out, we're talking about it generally at the moment, okay? So 2 parts. The first is the part where you share with whoever it is that you're telling. Most often the first people that we tell are our parents, right? We're telling the parents. So you're sitting there with your parents and you are tasked with the very pleasant confession of who it is you're sexually attracted to. Now, isn't that kind of interesting? I think a lot of people, when they say, coming out, yeah, it means coming out as gay, but what does it mean? I don't hear very many conversations about what that actually means and looks like when people come out. So I'm dissecting it just a little bit and sharing what I think. So again, there's 2 parts. We're on the first one. So I think it's fascinating that we sit down and we tell our parents what we're into sexually, because that's exactly what's happening, right? Mom, I'm really attracted to men and I love seeing them naked. I mean, we probably don't use those words, but that's kind of what we're saying, right? Or we're saying like, Dad, again, this is an explicit episode. Dad, I really get hard for guys and not for girls. So just wanted you to know. Like, is that what coming out is? And the vice versa is true for women that are coming out, When it comes to coming out, imagine if straight people sat down with, and we're talking primarily probably about parents, sat down and they said this kind of thing to their parents. Mom, so a straight guy, if I was a straight guy, Mom, I really need to tell you something. I'm really into big boobs. Okay, or Dad, when I see a blonde girl with blue eyes, I just really want to, okay, you get the point. I just think this is really fascinating. And I think that it's something that we don't talk that much about. There's a lot to being gay, right? But when it comes to coming out to your parents and you're saying the words, I'm gay, in a formal setting, no less, what are you actually telling them? So you sit them down and you share that part of yourself to them. And for me, it's just truly kind of utterly fascinating because this is not something that straight people do. Their parents might know, but it certainly wasn't shared in some formal way, right? Okay. So I mentioned that I think that there are two parts to coming out. The first is essentially you're saying what you're sexually into, which is weird. And the second part is where, for me, it gets very, very interesting. Think for a moment about all of the things that you know about gay people, okay? So people in your life, people that we see on TV, we read in books, the stereotypical cliche gay person, okay. And I need to just insert right here, I'm not trying to marginalize being queer, all right? And I'm in no way insinuating that your sexuality has to do with the stereotypes and cliches I'm about to share, okay? Like, capiche? This is not a blanket statement. This is just Darren sharing a story. So let's talk about gay people. We know, and again, gay people we see on TV, and how being gay is interpreted in today's society. All right, so let's start with girls. We call them lesbians. So first, let's talk about what it means to be butch, you know? I've never actually heard of a man as being butch, which is really kind of interesting as well. But we all somehow know what a butch lesbian refers to. So who and what is a bitch lesbian? Sorry, lesbian. A butch lesbian. Well, she typically drives a truck. She has pit bulls or Rottweilers. She definitely always wears cargo shorts. She has really short hair. She can lift a lot more weight than most guys can. And like, of course, obviously, she loves power tools. Okay. So as silly and cliche as this is sounding, like, am I wrong? Like, isn't this what we think of when we conjure up thoughts of the traditional butch lesbian? And, you know, and then let's talk about the other type, the lipstick lesbian. So the reason that we don't know much about them is because, well, if they didn't tell us that they liked women, then we wouldn't assume anything. So we've got some cliches going on, right? And I mean, we could go on and on and on about this. It's like a whole other book waiting to be written, right? Okay, now let's talk about the guys for a second. This is really intriguing to me because, well, I'm a male. I identify as male. Describe the average gay guy to me. First of all, you know, they're always handsome, right? This is like a total cliche. And the girls, all the straight girls, they always wish that we were straight, right? Because gay guys are just so good looking. It happens all the time. Okay. Next, most gay guys, well, they have really feminine tendencies, don't they? His voice is more expressive. His body language is more expressive. Oh, and don't forget his fashion. This is a Nordstrom sweater. Gay guys are always super fashionable, right? And then there's the long, long, long list of things that gay guys are always typically good at. So there's cooking, creating, designing, exercising, and working out, looking fabulous, always having really hot girl best friends, going on amazing, fabulous vacations. And of course, there's the things that we as gay guys always do, right? We always go shopping, we drink rosé all day, and we bake, and then we go out dancing with our friends, and just we all know how to dance. And then we come home and we create perfect homes, and we plan parties, and okay, all the stereotypes. So have you ever considered this? When the gays come out to their parents, not only are they telling them, so this is like part 2 of what I'm talking about. Not only are they telling them, 1, what their sexual preferences are, but 2, now they're also opening themselves up to all of these gay cliches that can now come their way because, oh yeah, they're gay. Wow. For me, when I discuss this and really bring to light what's actually happening when you come out to someone, it truly begs the question, what does it mean to be gay? So now we're going to kind of get back into my story, right? So in chapter 23, I talk about living by myself for the first time. And so I'm going to continue that just a little bit. Now that I was living on my own and getting to know myself and working through so many of the harms and hurts that had happened in my life, I was really able to start finally answering this question. What does it mean to be gay Darren? When I had first left Arkansas and moved to Washington, I had jumped 2 feet. No, I kind of cannonballed, like full blown, plunged in to this whole world of being gay. And now here it was 2 years later, and I realized that I had no idea what it really even meant. Since I had arrived in Washington, I had participated in every single expected, cliche, stereotypical gay activity, nuance, and predetermined definition that could possibly exist for homosexual men. And it had intensely contributed to my not really knowing who I was. I dressed the way that I thought I was supposed to. I cooked and baked and drank and entertained the way that I thought I was supposed to. I sexted, I sent photos, I hooked up in all the ways I thought I was supposed to. I went out, I got wasted, went home with sometimes random people, and then had mimosas at brunch the very next morning, the way I was supposed to. You name it, I had done it. And never once had I actually asked myself if I wanted to do any of this, wanted to participate in all of the things that my friends were participating in. I'd literally not stopped to ask myself if I was comfortable with doing these things and if I wanted to participate in whatever I was being asked to do. Why? Because I was a gay guy. Duh. Right? Like, this is just such an interesting conversation to have. That's what gay guys do. I've now said I was gay, said it, a couple years ago, and so now I'm doing what gay people do, what's expected. As the time that I was living by myself grew longer and longer, I can't really pinpoint exactly when, where, how, or why this sort of came about, but I began realizing more and more that I didn't really like the gay Darren that I had become. I mean, I really didn't. And but despite having recognized this about myself, I didn't really know what to do about it either. I mean, there was no gay manual you just pull off the shelf. And even if there was, would it have included all these stereotypical cliche things? It seemed like all of my friends at the time were gay. And there for a while, I didn't feel like I really had anybody that I could genuinely talk to about any of this. I did not feel that way. I've obviously talked at length about my brother, and a lot of people wrongfully assume that because we're both gay, that we just talk endlessly about gay things, and this is, the #1 topic of conversation. It literally could not be further from the truth, not at all. In fact, my brother, in my opinion, has always been one of the least stereotypical gay guys I know, in some ways. Anyway, with all of this in mind, I slowly began removing myself from the gay scene as I had known it. And it kind of started very slowly, but I did. And interestingly enough, I found this new group of friends that, for a variety of reasons, they just made me feel a lot more comfortable and a lot more like myself. And who were they? Well, they were 50 to 60-year-old middle-aged women, of course. Let's keep the cliche going. As a young gay male realtor, I was like a new piece of fresh meat in my office. And very quickly, the happy hour invitations, they just started flooding my inbox. And I very quickly found myself transitioning from the typical gay guys friend scene to hanging out a lot with these 50, 60-year-old women who were primarily in the real estate scene because I was at my office all day, right? We're gonna get there. I really wish that at this point in the story that I'm telling, I could share with closure and resolution that it was right then and there, somewhere in this time I've been discussing, that in my life, I redefined what it meant to be gay for myself and create this like, Phoenix Rising kind of thing, if I even needed to do that. But I didn't. Like, this is not the point in the story. And in fact, I'll give you a little hint, like in the rest of it, there's not gonna be one. But I'm writing this chapter because this sort of realization in my life was at least a good start for recognizing that maybe, just maybe, I didn't need to be the stereotypical gay Darren that I had been for the last 2 years until that point in my life. Because you see, regardless of how you identify or label yourself in this life, straight, gay, anywhere on the spectrum, it doesn't matter. There is one little trait that absolutely must be in place in order to truly know yourself and be confident in who you are. And that, my dear friends, is the trait of true, genuine authenticity. And I wasn't quite there yet. So that is chapter 24, The New Gay. Thank you all so much for watching. I know that I say that every time, but the reason that I say it every time is because I've just been shocked at what these videos have done for some people in the most unexpected ways. And I know that I've mentioned this before. You cannot imagine the messages that I have received in the last almost 3 months regarding this entire project, because you just would not believe the spectrum of topics and subjects that they cover. And for me to be able to have any part of helping someone, walking them through something they're going through, helping them understand or realize whatever it's been a true honor. And I really, really mean that. And so I really do thank you for watching. It means a lot. I was really completely so convinced when I started this project that no one was going to watch. No one was going to get anything out of this. And I've mentioned it before, I was really just going to do these videos because I've had the entire outline for this book finished for 7 years almost. It'll be 7 years in October that I first wrote this outline. And I just couldn't figure out a way to get the book written. And once again, another plug, my sweet dear friend Dana Adams, it was her that said, you should probably record these. You should probably record and just tell the story, because written word is different than spoken word. Do the spoken word part, tell the story, use the videos for yourself, and then write the book from them. And that's exactly what my intention was. But again, to have received the messages and the comments that I have has just been mind-blowing. And it tells me that there's a lot more that we should be talking about, and if one feels comfortable with, posting about as it pertains to our lives. There's a lot of people that really want to tell their own story. So if me telling my story has given anyone the courage to share theirs, like, then that's why I did this. So, okay, I'm done. Again, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, there will be one new video coming every other day for the next, 12 days, because hell or high water, I am finishing these videos by the end of September, because that's my goal, and that's what I committed to, and that's what's gonna happen. So, thank you so much. Looks like we're gonna have a little sun today here in Seattle, so for those that live here, let's go enjoy it. For the rest of you, I hope you have a beautiful day, and I will see you on Saturday. Bye.